Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. So in our last lecture, we have solved one problem based on the heating and cooling load calculation, and I have shown you the another problem, or I have given you another problem to solve related to the same, that is heating and cooling load calculation. The problem statement was the following data refers to air conditioning of public hall. So there is one public hall. So whatever outdoor conditions are there, so those outdoor conditions are nothing but 40 degree centigrade dry bulb temperature and 21 degree centigrade wet bulb temperature. That means I think this is the summer season. 40 degree centigrade dry bulb temperature, 20 degree centigrade wet bulb temperature. Whatever required comfort conditions are there, those required comfort conditions are nothing but 20 degree centigrade dry bulb temperature and 50% relative humidity. And sitting capacity of that public hall is equal to 1000 person, and amount of outdoor air supplied to that air handling unit KHU is nothing but 0.3 meter cube per minute. Amount of outdoor air supplied is equal to 0.3 meter cube per minute per person. So here the required condition is achieved. First by adiabatic humidification, and then by cooling. The required condition is achieved first by adiabatic humidification and then by cooling. So in this case, we have to find out the capacity of cooling coil and surface temperature of coil if bypass factor is 0.25, similar to the last problem. Instead of cooling coil, there was a heating coil. So here also we have to find out the cooling coil capacity and surface temperature of that cooling coil, and they have mentioned the bypass factor. And second thing, we have to find out the capacity of humidifier and its efficiency. So for better understanding of this problem, we'll represent this problem with the help of sketch. Suppose we are having this as a air handling unit. This is the air handling unit, and whatever outlet of this air handling unit is there, that will be supplied to that public hall. So suppose this is my public hall. There I want to achieve the desirable condition. Okay. So here in this air handling unit, whatever outside air will be there, on that outside air treatment will be done. Suppose this is the outside air, which is represented by point number 1. And here we are knowing the condition of outside air. What is the condition of outside air? 40 degree centigrade dry bulb temperature, 20 degree centigrade wet bulb temperature. So dry bulb temperature 40 degree centigrade, and wet bulb temperature is nothing but 20 degree centigrade. Okay. Now here whatever required comfort conditions are there, which we have to maintain in this public hall. So this is the public hall, which is having the capacity as a 1000 person, or sitting capacity as a 1000 person. So here whatever required conditions are there, suppose I'm representing that required condition by point number 2. So required conditions are nothing but 20 degree centigrade dry bulb temperature, and relative humidity as a 50%. As a relative humidity. Okay. Here the sitting capacity of this hall is 1000 person, and amount of outdoor air supplied is 0.3 meter cube per minute per person. So based on this, I can calculate the volume of air supplied. to that air handling unit, that volume of air supplied is nothing but 0.3 meter cube per minute per person, and as sitting capacity is 1000, so 1000 into 0.3, so which is equal to 300 meter cube per minute. 300 meter cube per minute. Meter cube per minute. This is the volume of the air which is supplied to that air handling unit. Now here they have directly mentioned that the required condition. The required condition means whatever these desirable conditions are there, those are achieved first by adiabatic humidifying. So adiabatic humidification means adiabatic humidification means adiabatic humidification means it is the process called as a cooling and humidification. So here we are having the adiabatic humidifier. Adiabatic humidifier. So whenever that air, whenever outside air will pass over that adiabatic humidifier, whenever that outside air will pass over that adiabatic humidifier, here cooling and humidification process will occur. Here cooling and humidification process will occur, and here if I am going to consider this point as a point number 3, this point as a point number 3, where that cooling and humidification process is occurring. So here as we are taking the adiabatic humidifier, that's why here there will not be any point, because if we are going to consider this as a heating or cooling coil, then we have to consider that point, because they will provide the surface temperature related to that heating or cooling coil, or they will provide the bypass factor related to that heating and cooling coil. But here as they have provided the adiabatic humidifier, that's why not necessary to take the point number 4 for that adiabatic humidifier. Now here whatever outlet of that adiabatic humidifier will be there, that will be supplied to the cooling coil. Here you can see the required condition is achieved first by adiabatic humidifying and then by cooling. So as there is a cooling process, that's why here we have to have the cooling coil. So here we'll represent one coil as a cooling coil. Suppose this as a cooling coil. And here as they have not provided the load which is being generated inside the room, that's why here as they have directly mentioned that required condition is achieved. Required condition is directly achieved by adiabatic humidifying and then by cooling. That's why here this will be my point number 3. And after passing that point number 3 over this cooling coil, after passing that point number 3 or air having condition point number 3 over this cooling coil, here whatever air will be generated or whatever air supply air will be there. So after passing that supply air to the public hall, I can get this required condition. Okay. So here corresponding to this point, this is nothing but the point number 2. This is nothing but the point number 2, because here directly we are getting the required condition. So here corresponding to that cooling coil, here what they have asked us, find the capacity of cooling coil, and the capacity of cooling coil and surface temperature of coil if bypass factor of the coil is 0.25. That means they have provided information related to this cooling coil. So here if I'm going to consider point number 4, if I'm going to consider point number 4 as a surface or as a condition of cooling coil, so here they have mentioned that bypass factor of cooling coil So here I will represent the bypass factor by the term called as X. So bypass factor of the cooling coil is equal to 0.25. Is equal to 0.25. So what I have to find out here? I have to find out the capacity of cooling coil. First of all, I have to find out capacity of cooling coil. Second thing, I have to find out surface temperature of the cooling coil. So first thing which I have to find out, is the capacity of cooling coil. Then second thing which I have to find out is nothing but the surface temperature of the cooling coil. Surface temperature of the cooling coil, and for that purpose they have mentioned the bypass factor as a 0.25. Then third thing which I have to find out is the capacity of humidifier. This is the capacity of humidifier. And fourth thing which I have to find out is nothing but the efficiency of humidifier. Now how to solve this problem? Can anyone tell me how to solve this problem? So for solving this problem with the help of psychrometric chart, suppose this is the outline of psychrometric chart. This is the outline of psychrometric chart. So on that psychrometric chart, I will represent the point number 1. So point number 1 is indicating the 40 degrees centigrade dry bulb temperature, 20 degrees centigrade wet bulb temperature. So here I will represent the 40 degrees centigrade dry bulb temperature and 20 degrees centigrade wet bulb temperature. Suppose here this is the line which is indicating 40 degrees centigrade dry bulb temperature, and this will be the vertical line. Suppose this is a line which is indicating 20 degrees centigrade, as a wet bulb temperature. So wet bulb temperature line will be likewise. Where that wet bulb temperature line is intersecting to that 40 degrees centigrade dry bulb temperature line, that will be my point number 1. So this will be my point number 1. Okay. So this will be my point number 1. Now, what they have mentioned, the required condition is achieved first by adiabatic humidification. Adiabatic humidification means Okay. Here I am knowing the point number 2 condition of point number 2 also. What is the condition of point number 2? Condition of point number 2, that is nothing but required comfort condition. That required comfort condition is nothing but 20 degrees centigrade dry bulb temperature, 50% relative humidity. So if I will locate that point, 20 degrees centigrade dry bulb temperature, so that 20 degrees centigrade dry bulb temperature line will be somewhere here. Okay, from this point this will be 20 degrees centigrade dry bulb temperature line, likewise, because we are knowing that at saturated curve dry bulb temperature is equal to wet bulb temperature is equal to dew point temperature. So this will be 20 degrees centigrade dry bulb temperature line. And if we will check the 50% relative humidity line, then 50% relative humidity line will be likewise. When I am going to draw this process on the psychrometric chart, you will get that exact process, because here we are drawing with the help of drawing as it is without taking the help of actual psychrometric chart. So here we will come to know that when I'm going to draw %50 relative humidity line, that 50% relative humidity line will be likewise. त्या ठिकाणी तुम्हाला भरपूर क्लोज दिसते, हे 80-90% ची दिसते, पण ऍक्च्युअली ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही ड्रॉ कराल तुमच्या सायक्रोमेट्रिक चार्ट मध्ये, त्यावेळेस ही जी प्रोसेस आहे, हा पॉईंट नंबर 2 जो आहे तो अप्पर साइडला येईल. So suppose this is my point number 2. So this is the 50% relative humidity line. Okay, so 50% relative humidity and 20 degrees centigrade dry bulb temperature. So this will be my point number 2. Okay, so from point number 1 to point number 2. So from point number 1, it means from outside here, I have to achieve the desirable condition. And for achieving that desirable condition, first of all, 1 to 3 process is nothing but the adiabatic humidification process. Now, what is the meaning of adiabatic humidification? Adiabatic humidification means it is the process called as the cooling and humidification, and that cooling and humidification process will only occur. Cooling and humidification process will only occur at a constant enthalpy. That means from point number 1, I'm going to draw the constant enthalpy line. But up to where I have to draw that constant enthalpy line? Up to where I have to draw that constant enthalpy line? I'm not knowing the point number 3 or position of point number 3, but I am knowing that 3 to 2 process. 3 to 2 process is the cooling process, which is occurred because of cooling coil. And as they have mentioned that is the cooling process, that means whatever cooling will be there, that will be the sensible cooling only. And sensible cooling will takes place at a constant specific humidity. That means from point number 2, I'm going to draw the horizontal line. From point number 2, I'm going to draw the horizontal line, and where that horizontal line is intersecting to that constant enthalpy line, this will be my point number 3. This will be my point number 3. Now you will understand. One to three process is nothing but the adiabatic humidification. That means cooling and humidification. And after 3 to 2 process will be the cooling process or sensible cooling process. So likewise, I will get the 1 to 3 and 3 to 2 process. Now, what I have to find out? Here I have to find out the capacity of cooling coil. Here I have to find out the capacity of cooling coil. So to find out the capacity of cooling coil, what is the inlet point for that cooling coil? For this cooling coil, point number 4. Inlet point is nothing but point number 3, and outlet point is nothing but point number 2. Inlet point is nothing but point number 3. Outlet point is nothing but point number 2. And if I want to find out the capacity of cooling coil, if I want to find out capacity of cooling coil, which is the formula I'm going to use? Which formula I'm going to use? So capacity of cooling coil will be given by equation mass of air into enthalpy difference. Mass of air into enthalpy difference. आता enthalpy difference कोणता घ्यायचा आहे? त्या cooling coil च्या inlet point आणि outlet point चा enthalpy difference घ्यायचा आहे. So here for this cooling coil, inlet point is point number 3 and outlet point is point number 2. So corresponding to this, if I will calculate the value of enthalpy, so here somewhere here there will be the enthalpy scale. So here I will get the value of enthalpy corresponding to point number 3. या ठिकाणी मला H3 ची व्हॅल्यू मिळेल आणि या ठिकाणी मला काय मिळेल? H2 ची व्हॅल्यू मिळेल अशा टाइप. Here I will get the value of H2. Which value is higher? H3 or H2? Which value is higher? H3 value is higher as compared to H2. That's why here I will use the formula as a mass of air into H3 minus H2. H3 minus H2. Okay. Here, with the help of that enthalpy scale, by using the psychrometric chart, I will be getting the value of H3. I will get the value of H2. Only thing, I need to calculate the value of mass of air. Only thing, I need to calculate the value of mass of air. How to calculate the value of mass of air? How to calculate the value of mass of air? Can anyone tell me? So for calculation of value of mass of air, I am knowing the formula. Value of mass of air is nothing but volume divided by specific volume of entering air. Volume divided by specific volume of entering air. Out of that, I am knowing the value of volume of the air which is being supplied to that air conditioning apparatus. What is the volume? 300 meter cube per minute. 300 meter cube per minute. So 300 meter cube per minute is the value of volume. And PS1, how to calculate the value of PS1? PS1 means specific volume corresponding to point number 1. So I am knowing the point number 1. This is the point number 1. So here I am going to calculate the value of specific volume, and I am knowing the nature of specific volume line. So here I have to find out the line which is passing through the point number 1, or which will be parallel to the specific volume line. So here I will get the value of specific volume corresponding to point number 1. So put that value here. I will get the value of mass of air. So that mass of air will be in terms of kg per minute. Mass of air will be in terms of kg per minute. So after getting all those value, put all those value in this equation, I will get the capacity of cooling coil. I will get the capacity of cooling coil, and that capacity of cooling coil will get in terms of, what will be the unit? Kg per minute into kilojoule per kg. So final unit will be kilojoule per minute. So by this way, I will get the value of capacity of cooling coil. कितपर्यंत समजतंय का सगळ्यांना? Yes or no? Write in the chat box. Purposefully,
Yes,
I have taken the same type of problem so that you will get the better understanding. Have you understood?
Yes.
Okay. What about remaining student? What about remaining student? Is there any query, any question? Is there any query, any question? Okay. Now, after calculation of capacity of cooling coil, now what I have to calculate? I have to find out the surface temperature of cooling coil. I have to find out the surface temperature of cooling coil. And for that purpose, they have mentioned the bypass factor as a 0.25. How to calculate the surface temperature? Can anyone tell me? How to calculate the surface temperature of cooling coil? How to calculate the surface temperature of cooling coil? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me? So after locating the point number 3, here after locating or after getting the point number 3, with the help of psychrometric chart, here I will get the value of TD3 or dry bulb temperature corresponding to point number 3. And here this value corresponding to point number 3 will be in between 20 degrees centigrade and 40 degrees centigrade. Definitely that will be greater than 20 degrees centigrade and less than 40 degrees centigrade. So suppose that value is in between 20 and 40, whatever may be that value. Suppose that value is a 35. I'm not knowing exact value. When we are going to locate this process, or when we'll draw this process on the psychrometric chart, you will get the exact value. Here I am assuming suppose 35 degrees centigrade. आता या ठिकाणी पॉईंट नंबर 3 ची मला टेम्परेचर माहित आहे, ते किती आहे? 20 डिग्री आणि 40 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेडच्या मध्ये आहे. सपोज आय हॅव कन्सिडर्ड दॅट एज अ 35 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. आता ज्यावेळेस 35 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेडची एअर ह्या कुलिंग कॉइल वरून पास होते, ज्यावेळेस मी या ठिकाणी अझम्पशन केलेलं आहे 35 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेडचं, ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही ऍक्च्युअल प्रोसेस तुमच्या सायक्रोमेट्रिक चार्ट वरती ड्रॉ कराल त्यावेळेस तुम्हाला ऍक्युरेट व्हॅल्यू ऑफ TD3 भेटेल. ओके, हियर आय हॅव अज्युम दॅट we got that value as a 35 degree centigrade. So when we are passing that 35 degree centigrade air over the cooling coil, so after passing that 35 degree centigrade air over the cooling coil, we are getting the temperature of that air as a 20 degree centigrade. We are getting the temperature of that air as a 20 degree centigrade. So what will be the temperature of cooling coil? What must be the temperature of cooling coil? The temperature of cooling coil must be लेस दॅन 20 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. कारण की 35 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेडची एअर ज्यावेळेस आपण कुलिंग कॉइल वरून पास करतोय त्यावेळेस आउटसाइड एअरला मला किती भेटतंय? 20 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड टेम्परेचर भेटतंय. म्हणजे कुलिंग कॉइलचं टेम्परेचर बाय डिफॉल्ट काय असलं पाहिजे? 20 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड पेक्षा काय असलं पाहिजे? कमी असलं पाहिजे. आर यू गेटिंग? सो हाऊ टू कॅल्क्युलेट दॅट व्हॅल्यू? हाऊ टू कॅल्क्युलेट? For that purpose, they have provided the value of bypass factor. For that purpose, they have provided the value of bypass factor. So here, if I assume this as a point number 2, so whatever point number 4 will be there. आता ह्या ठिकाणी 3 to 2 प्रोसेस जी होते, 3 to 2 प्रोसेस जी होते ती कशामुळे होते, आपल्या कुलिंग कॉइल मुळे होते. म्हणजे पॉईंट नंबर 4 जो असणार आहे तो माझा ह्या साईडला कुठेतरी असणार आहे. पण मला ह्या ठिकाणी एक्झॅक्ट पोझिशन माहित नाही पॉईंट नंबर 4 ची, कारण की मला त्याचं टेम्परेचरच माहित नाही, सरफेस टेम्परेचरच माहित नाही. हिअर आय एम गोइंग टू अज्युम दॅट माय पॉईंट नंबर 4 इज ऍट दिस लोकेशन. बट what is the exact position? For that purpose, I am going to use the formula of bypass factor. So bypass factor of cooling coil. Can anyone tell me what will be the formula for this cooling coil? Bypass factor formula based on this diagram. bypass factor चा फॉर्म्युला तुम्हाला पाठ करून जमणार नाही. तुम्हाला प्रत्येक ठिकाणी प्रॉब्लेमच्या सिच्युएशन वरून तुम्हाला बायपास फॅक्टरचा फॉर्म्युला घ्यावा लागणार आहे. फक्त ठोकताळा काय लक्षात ठेवायचं आहे, bypass factor is nothing but the ratio of coil and outlet divided by temperature difference between coil and outlet divided by temperature difference between coil and inlet. कोण सांगेल या ठिकाणी bypass factor चा काय फॉर्म्युला येईल? Can anyone tell me what will be the formula for bypass factor for this cooling coil? Who will tell me? Think on it and tell me that bypass factor formula. Until and unless you are not going to tell me the bypass factor formula, I am not going to proceed further. Take your time and tell me the bypass factor formula. Until and unless you are not going to tell me the formula for bypass factor for this case, I am not going to proceed further. What will be the formula for bypass factor? निदान एकाला तरी माहिती पाहिजे, otherwise there will not be use of teaching. Then I am asking you, if you are having any query, any question, you can ask me. You are not asking, that means I am assuming that you are getting everything. I have asked the simple question. What is the formula for bypass factor in this case? Let it be wrong answer, but you have to tell. Until and unless you are not going to tell, I am not going to proceed further.
Sir, TD2 minus TD3 divided by TD1 minus TD3.
TD2 minus
TD3.
TD3 divided by
TD1 minus TD3.
Okay. As per your opinion, TD, please tell once again. TD2 minus
TD3.
TD2 minus TD3. Okay. TD2 minus TD3 divided by
TD1 minus TD3.
TD1 minus TD3. So whatever formula you are telling, so that formula will be correct. That formula will be correct if your coil will be at first position. But here, if you are going to see, the coil inlet point is point number 3. coil inlet point is point number 3, coil surface temperature or coil condition is nothing but point number 4, and outlet point for that coil is nothing but point number 2. So here whatever bypass factor will be there, that will be in terms of TD2, TD3 and TD4. Are you getting? You have to
Yes.
use simple logic. That means whatever our basic formula is there. Temperature difference between coil and outlet divided by temperature difference between coil and inlet. Positive temperature difference between coil and outlet divided by positive temperature difference between coil and inlet. Can you tell me now what will be the formula? Coil आणि आउटलेट. आता कॉइलचं टेम्परेचर किती आहे? कॉइलचं टेम्परेचर किती आहे? TD4 आहे आणि आउटलेट कोणता आहे? TD2 आहे. कोणतं टेम्परेचर जास्त आहे? TD2 चं जास्त आहे की TD4 चं जास्त आहे? ही कूलिंग कॉइल आहे म्हणजे कोणतं टेम्परेचर जास्त असणार आहे? TD2 चं टेम्परेचर जास्त असणार. दॅट मीन्स TD2 minus TD4 will be there. So instead of TD3 here, instead of TD3 there will be TD2 minus TD4 divided by coil आणि इनलेट. आता कॉइल कोणते? ही त्याचा पॉइंट कोणता आहे? पॉइंट नंबर 4 आणि इनलेटचा पॉइंट कोणता आहे? पॉइंट नंबर 3. कोणतं टेम्परेचर जास्त आहे? कॉइलचं टेम्परेचर जास्त आहे की इनलेटचं टेम्परेचर जास्त आहे? इनलेट कोणता घ्यायचा आहे तुम्हाला? हा इनलेट घ्यायचा नाही. इनलेट कोणता घ्यायचा आहे? त्या कॉइलचा इनलेट घ्यायचा आहे. कॉइलसाठी इनलेट पॉइंट कोणता आहे? पॉइंट नंबर 3
Point number 3.
acting as the inlet point. So here, sorry, point number 3 is acting as the inlet point. So what will be the formula here? Coil आणि inlet 4 आणि 3 दोन्हीचं टेम्परेचर जास्त कोणतं आहे? दोन्हीपैकी 3 पॉइंटचं टेम्परेचर जास्त आहे as compared to point number 4. So here TD3 minus
TD4.
TD4 will be there. So until and unless you will not get the basic concept, until and unless you are not getting the basic concept here, you will not get the correct answer. Okay, now here bypass factor value you are knowing. What is the value of bypass factor?
0.25.
0.25 is the value of bypass factor. You are knowing.
Yes.
You are knowing the value of TD2. Whether you are knowing the value of TD2, TD2 ची व्हॅल्यू माहित आहे किती? 20 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड आहे, बरोबर आहे? 20 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड काय? TD2 ची व्हॅल्यू आहे. Then whether you are knowing the value of TD4? No, you are not knowing the value of TD4. Only you are knowing that value of TD4 should be less than 20 degrees centigrade. So TD4 will be the unknown quantity. Whether you are knowing the value of TD3? Yes, you are knowing the value of TD3. 3 point corresponding the dew point, tribal temperature म्हणजे तुमचं काय असणार आहे? TD3 असणार. या ठिकाणी तुम्ही म्हणाल सर 4 पॉइंटच्या करस्पॉन्डिंगचं ट्रायबल टेम्परेचर, पण ह्या ठिकाणी आपण 4 पॉइंट ऍज्युम केलेलं आहे. आपल्याला एक्झॅक्ट पोझिशन माहित नाही अजून. पॉइंट नंबर 4 ची फक्त माहिती काय? पॉइंट नंबर 4 इज टुवर्ड्स दिस डायरेक्शन ओनली. दॅट मीन्स पॉइंट नंबर 4 विल हॅव द लेस टेम्परेचर ऍज कम्पेअर्ड टू 20 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड. दॅट मच वी आर नोइंग. We are not knowing exact position. So based on this, we'll calculate the value of TD4. Based on this, we'll calculate, because there is one equation and one unknown. So based on this, we are able to calculate the value of TD4. So here calculate the value of TD4, and after getting the value of TD4, आता जी काय व्हॅल्यू येईल, समजा या ठिकाणी 15 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड आहे किंवा 18 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड आहे, काही जरी आली तरी काय करणार आहे? परत तुम्ही त्यानुसार तुमचा पॉइंट नंबर 4 फायनल पोझिशन लोकेट करणार आहे. समजा तुमची पॉइंट नंबर 15 ही चाल, 15 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड ही चाल, तर ह्यावरून तुम्ही काय करणार? तुमचा पॉइंट नंबर 4 रिलोकेट करणार. आर यू गेटिंग? So here you are going to relocate the point number 4 based on your value of TD4. Suppose this is my point number 4. Are you getting? So this is the value of bypass factor. Sorry, this is the value of temperature of the cooling coil. This is the value of temperature of cooling coil. TD4 is nothing but the value of temperature of cooling coil. Now next thing, what you have to calculate? Next thing, what you have to calculate?
Capacity of humidifier.
Capacity of humidifier. Humidifier तुम्ही कुठे यूज केलेला आहे? प्रोसेस 1 to 3 मध्ये humidifier यूज केलेला आहे. 1 to 3 मध्ये. In between process 1 to 3, you have used the adiabatic humidifier. So here, if you want to calculate the capacity of humidifier, which formula you are going to use? फक्त दोनच फॉर्म्युला लक्षात ठेवायचे. कूलिंग कॉइलची कॅपॅसिटी म्हणजे काय असणार आहे, मास ऑफ एअर इंटू एन्थॅल्पी डिफरन्स असणार आहे. पॉझिटिव्ह एन्थॅल्पी डिफरन्स घ्यायचा आहे. आणि कॅपॅसिटी ऑफ ह्युमिडिफायर म्हणजे काय असणार आहे, मास ऑफ एअर इंटू स्पेसिफिक ह्युमिडिटी डिफरन्स असणार आहे. सो हियर capacity of humidifier, as humidifier is used in between process 1 to 3, so corresponding to point 1 you will calculate the value of small w or w1, specific humidity corresponding to point number 1, and corresponding to point number 3 you will calculate the value of small w3, specific humidity corresponding to point number 3. which value is higher? या ठिकाणी सायक्रोमेट्रिक चार्ट वरती तुम्हाला ह्या व्हॅल्यू भेटतील. सायक्रोमेट्रिक चार्ट वरती ह्या व्हॅल्यू भेटतील. सो मास ऑफ एअर, so capacity of humidifier is nothing but mass of air into specific humidity difference. Specific humidity difference is nothing but W3 minus W1. W3 minus W1. Are you getting? या ठिकाणी मास ऑफ एअर ऑलरेडी तुम्ही कॅल्क्युलेट केलेलं आहे. या ठिकाणी मास ऑफ एअर ऑलरेडी तुम्ही कॅल्क्युलेट केलेलं आहे. W3 ची व्हॅल्यू कशावरून भेटणार आहे तुम्हाला? त्या सायक्रोमेट्रिक चार्ट वरून भेटणार आहे. W1 ची व्हॅल्यू कशावरून भेटणार आहे तुम्हाला? ह्या सायक्रोमेट्रिक चार्ट वरून भेटणार आहे. सो ऑटोमॅटिकली यू विल गेट द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ कॅपॅसिटी ऑफ ह्युमिडिफायर. आर यू गेटिंग? येस और नो?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And lastly, we have to calculate the efficiency of that humidifier. We have to calculate the efficiency of that humidifier. आता efficiency of humidifier कसं calculate करणार आहे तुम्ही? Can anyone tell me how to calculate the efficiency of humidifier? Can anyone tell me how to calculate the efficiency of humidifier? I will directly show that formula. So here, as this is the new formula for you also. So efficiency of humidifier will be calculated by using the formula actual temperature drop, dry bulb temperature drop divided by ideal temperature drop. आता ह्या ठिकाणी 1 to 3 प्रोसेस मध्ये ह्युमिडिफायर यूज केलेला आपण, बरोबर आहे. ह्या ठिकाणी 1 to 3 प्रोसेस मध्ये ह्युमिडिफायर यूज केला होता. दिसून जाईल इथं 1 to 3 प्रोसेस मध्ये ह्युमिडिफायर यूज केला होता, बरोबर. आयडियली हा ह्युमिडिफायर काय करायला पाहिजे होता? आयडियली या ह्युमिडिफायरनं अशी ह्युमिडिफाय करायला पाहिजे होती की हा तुमचा पॉईंट नंबर 3 जो आहे तो इथपर्यंत गेला पाहिजे, म्हणजे ती एअर सॅच्युरेटेड झाली पाहिजे. अशा पद्धतीने त्यानं ह्युमिडिफिकेशन केलं पाहिजे. त्यावेळेस त्या ह्युमिडिफायरची इफिशियन्सी किती आहे म्हणणार आहे मी? 100% इफिशियन्सी आहे असं म्हणणार आहे, बरोबर आहे. त्या ह्युमिडिफायरची इफिशियन्सी 100% आहे असं कधी म्हणणार होतो मी? ज्यावेळेस हे जी काय आउटसाइड एअर आहे त्या आउटसाइड एअरचं कन्वर्जन सॅच्युरेटेड एअर मध्ये झालं असतं. आउटसाइड एअरचं कन्वर्जन सॅच्युरेटेड एअर मध्ये झालं असतं, म्हणजे पॉईंट नंबर 3 माझा सॅच्युरेटेड कर्व वरती असता तर मी काय म्हटलं असतं? दॅट ह्युमिडिफायर इज हॅव्हिंग द इफिशियन्सी ॲज अ 100%. बट in actual I am getting the point number 3 here only. So here the difference between actual temperature drop to the ideal temperature drop, that will be called as the efficiency of humidifier. So here formula is actual temperature drop divided by ideal temperature drop. आता ह्या ठिकाणी actual temperature drop कोणता आहे? From TD1 to TD3. ऍक्च्युअल प्रोसेस कोणती आहे तुमची? 1 to 3 एवढीच प्रोसेस ऍक्च्युअल मध्ये झालेली आहे. या ठिकाणी ऍक्च्युअल टेम्परेचर ड्रॉप किती आला? TD1 to TD3 और TD1 minus TD3. आणि आयडियल टेम्परेचर ड्रॉप कोणता यायला पाहिजे होता? ज्यावेळेस त्याचं कन्वर्जन सॅच्युरेटेड एअर मध्ये झालं असतं त्यावेळेस हा TD1 to TD5 हा टेम्परेचर ड्रॉप आला असता. सो TD1 minus TD5. So here you will get that humidifier is having only 10% as a efficiency. That humidifier is having only 10% as a efficiency. Are you getting? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
What about remaining student? So this was the solution of this problem. So has everyone understood this problem? Write in the chat box how many students got this problem. If you have understood this problem, write Y in the chat box. If you haven't understood, write N in the chat box. Do it fast. Let me see how many students understood this problem. What about remaining student? Only 3 to 4 students understood this problem. What about remaining student? If you haven't understood, that means you must be having some query or some question. So you have to ask me that query or question which you are facing. Okay. So here, how we have drawn the diagram? I have told you. First of all, we have located the point number 1. After that, we have located the point number 2. As we were knowing that, first of all, we are doing the adiabatic humidification. That means that process will occur at a constant enthalpy. And as we are knowing the point number 2, required is a required condition also. So from that required condition is achieved by cooling of that air. So here that sensible cooling process and adiabatic humidification process will intersect. That will be my point number 3. So based on that point number 3, I will calculate the value of TD3. Here actual value of TD3 is 38 degrees centigrade. So first of all, here to calculate the value of mass of air corresponding to point number 1 by using the psychrometric chart, I will calculate the specific volume. Here value of specific volume is 0.896 meter cube per kg. And here mass of air will be equal to volume divided by specific volume of point number 1. Volume will be equal to 300 divided by 0.896. So here I will get the mass of air as a 334.8 kg per minute. Based on this, to calculate the capacity of cooling coil. Here cooling coil we are using during the process 3 to 2. Cooling coil we are using during the process 3 to 2. So capacity of cooling coil will be given by equation mass of air into H3 minus H2. Mass of air into H3 minus H2. So here I am getting the value of H3 and H2 as a H3 will be कुठून घेतले है value by using the psychrometric chart. Psychrometric chart वर तुम्हाला हे ठिकाणी ऑटोमॅटिकली व्हॅल्यू मिळतील. ह्या एन्थाल्पी चार्ट वरती सायक्रोमेट्रिक चार्टच्या एन्थाल्पी चार्ट वरती तुम्हाला H3 H2 च्या व्हॅल्यू मिळतील. So here H3 value will be 57.6 kg per kilojoule per kg. H2 value will be 39 kilojoule per kg of dry air. Then put those values in the formula of capacity of cooling coil. I will get the capacity of cooling coil in terms of kilojoule per minute, because this value of mass of air I am getting in terms of kilojoule per kg per minute, and values of enthalpy I am getting in terms of kilojoule per kg. So here I'll get that answer in terms of kilojoule per minute. If I want to convert that answer from kilojoule per minute into kilowatt, divide this value by 60, I will get the value in terms of kilowatt. And if I want to have this answer in terms of ton of refrigeration, then divide this answer by 210. I will get the value or capacity of cooling coil in terms of ton of refrigeration. Now after calculation of capacity of cooling coil, we have to find out the value of surface temperature. So as we are using the cooling coil, so surface temperature of cooling coil will be less than the outlet air or required condition. So here I am knowing that point number 4 will be having the less value as compared to 20 degrees centigrade. And to find out exact value, I am going to use the bypass factor formula. So bypass factor will be given by equation TD2 minus TD4 divided by TD3 minus TD4. So here I will get the value of TD4, that is nothing but surface temperature of cooling coil as a 14 degrees centigrade. After getting this exact value, locate the point number 4. Locate the point number 4 on that psychrometric chart. After that, I have to calculate the capacity of humidifier and its efficiency. आता humidification ची process कोणती आपली? Process 1 to 3 is the humidification process. Process 1 to 3 is the humidification process. So capacity of humidifier will be calculated by using the formula mass of air into specific humidity difference. So capacity of humidifier, mass of air into specific humidity difference. स्पेसिफिक ह्युमिडिटी डिफरन्स कोणता घ्यायचा आहे, पॉईंट नंबर 3 आणि पॉईंट नंबर 1 चा स्पेसिफिक ह्युमिडिटी डिफरन्स घ्यायचा आहे. Which value is higher? W3 is higher than W1. So put that value as W1 is equal to and W3 is equal to these values 0.0064 and 0.0074 kg per kg of dry air. To put those values, I will get the value of capacity of humidifier, and that capacity of humidifier will be in terms of kg per minute. Okay. And lastly, I have to calculate the value of efficiency of humidifier. Efficiency of humidifier means या ठिकाणी जो काय आपण 1 to 3 प्रोसेस मध्ये ह्युमिडिफायर यूज केला होता, जर त्या ह्युमिडिफायरची इफिशियन्सी जर 100% असती, किंवा आपण त्या ह्युमिडिफायरची इफिशियन्सी 100% आहे कधी म्हणणार आहे, ज्यावेळेस त्या ह्युमिडिफायर मुळे मॉइस्ट एअरचं कन्व्हर्जन डायरेक्टली सॅच्युरेटेड एअर मध्ये झालं असतं. मॉइस्ट एअरचं कन्व्हर्जन डायरेक्टली सॅच्युरेटेड एअर मध्ये झालं असतं, त्यावेळेस मी काय म्हटलं असतं, दॅट humidifier is having 100% efficiency, but in actual practice, because of that humidifier, only this much change in the relative humidity is occurring. So here actual temperature drop divided by ideal temperature drop will be equal to efficiency of humidifier. So actual temperature drop is nothing but TD1 minus TD3, and ideal temperature drop means TD1 minus TD5. So by this equation, I will get the efficiency of humidifier. Are you getting? So this was the problem related to heating and cooling load calculation. Now after this problem, we have to see the next point or next conceptual point, that is called as a room sensible heat factor, grand sensible heat factor, and effective room sensible heat factor, RSHF, GSHF, and ERSHF. And we have to represent those line, RSHF line, GSHF line, and ERSHF line on the psychrometric chart also. So that is also very much important point. And while doing the heating load calculation or cooling load calculation, the understanding of that RSHF line, GSHF line, and ERSHF line is also very much important. So as time is 1:55, so we are going to take that RSHF, GSHF, and ERSHF line concept in the next lecture. And based on that RSHF line, GSHF line, and ERSHF line, we have to solve the problem by using the psychrometric chart. Are you getting? So here, as time is 1:55, so we will end our lecture by taking the attendance. And in the next lecture, we'll take the RSHF, GSHF, and ERSHF. So after that RSHF, GSHF, and ERSHF, we have to solve the problem based on the same, so that our part A, heating and cooling load calculation, part A will get covered. And after that, within 2 to 3 lectures, our chapter number 5 also will get covered. Okay. So I'll take the attendance. Roll number 1 to 4 absent, 5 present, 6, 7 absent, 8 present, 9 to 12 absent, 13 present, 14 absent, 15 present, 16 present, 17 absent, 18 present, then 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 absent, 24 present, 25, 26 absent, 27 present, 28 present, 29 present, 30, 31, 32, 33 absent, 34 present, then 35, 36, 37 absent, 38 present, 39, 40, 41 absent, 42, 43, 44 present, 45 absent, 46, 47 present, 48, 49 absent, 50 present. 51, 52, 53, 54 absent, 55 present, 56, 57 absent, 58 present, 59, 60 absent, 61, 62 present, 63 absent, 64 present, then 65, 66, 67 absent, 68 present, 68 present, 69, 70 absent, 71, 72 present, 73, 74, 75, 76 absent. Okay, I think I have taken the attendance of all students. So we'll end our lecture here. Thank you for attending the lecture.